Hello, my name is Mike Prom, Application Engineer for KETIV Technologies. Today we're going to take a look at the light analysis tool inside of 3ds Max. First thing we're going to look at is the File Link Reference Manager. What this allows me to do is actually link the 3D DWG AutoCAD model to the model inside of 3ds Max. This will allow any updates from the model to be updated inside of 3ds Max. Also to be noted that the Daylight System tool inside of 3ds Max allows us to create a sun figure. What this allows us to do is position the sun in the scene for the proper time and day for the setting. As you notice, when I rotate it around, the horizon light changes from the different positions as I rotate around the model. What this does is affect the light and the shadowing on the model, as we can see here. When I flip through the different hours with my daylight system, notice how the light and the shadows change, going from the beginning of the morning to the end of the day. Now, I was just flipping through hours. If we go into the multi-views here, notice how it changes the position through the sky in that day as I go through the hours in that day. Now, along with the hours, I also have the capability of tweaking the minutes and the months and the years as well. So it's just for a given latitude, longitude. I can flip through my hours like you see here. Also tweak it a little more finely with my minutes, so we can see exactly when the sun sets. Gives a good idea about the lighting, the shadowing of the scene. Is this going to be proper? Do we want to maybe rotate the building 10 degrees, 15 degrees? Today we're kind of going to be looking at more from the inside, the solar shades. Are they going to provide enough shading for the light? And so on, pretty much unlimited. Now, like I said, we want to take a look on the inside, and you can see there's some solar shades here. And we really want to do more of a light analysis on this to see if these shades are going to provide sufficient reduction in the amount of light that comes in there without taking away from the visual aspects of looking outside. Again, as I flip through the time, you can see even the sun coming down, going back up, the lighting, how it changes inside of the room. Gives us a good idea, what's going to happen before we actually, build this building. Now again, I can flip through the hours and minutes, but I also have this capability to use actual weather data for a certain location. In this case, I'm in Portland, Oregon, so I'd like to look this up online, grab some information here about the date, weather location information, and then import this into 3ds Max. So I'm able to use that import tool to grab this information. I just Googled it, imported it. I'm going to grab the date that I want. Notice here again, I can do hours, minutes, days, which allows me to very easily tune in the proper daylight setting of what I want here. Now with the beginning set, I can then just grab my endpoint, which will allow me to go through my timeline from the beginning date to the end date. Now, I'm just going to do a day, you could do a year, and whatever you need for your analysis. Again, just setting up my minutes, my hours, month, year. With this done, I can actually match this to my timeline. Notice how my timeline updates. And with that, I'm able to flip through each hour of that timeline. Now I'm just flipping through. You can also play this in a smooth recording. The nice thing is we can actually animate this and record this out as an AVI as well if we need to. Now so far we've just got a very good visual idea of what's happening. Is this going to be, like I said, architecturally pleasing for us? Is there going to be enough light in there? So next step is to take a look at the light analysis, and you can look and see I can do some lighting rendering, which we'll do later. But in this case, I'm just going to slat up a new light meter, and I'm really more concerned about the floor, the lighting that's coming into this. Let's just call it an office. Is there going to be enough light, not enough light? Like I said, do we want to rotate around? Idea of the sunshades, not sunshades. We're going to do a pretty good job of kind of ruling some of those things out. Now, the first thing you see here is I select the positioning, and then once I have my positioning, I can then adjust the size of my light analysis. In this case, I can also change how many different points I have. So this is kind of like a mesh when you do like an analysis. So the greater the amount of points takes a little bit more time. However, you're going to get a lot more detail about those points. Also notice that I'm pulling this up just a little bit. I don't want that to be below the floor. I want to make sure I'm getting accurate data here. Now, with that selected, I can now do a light analysis for this room. Notice where the light comes in, my numbers, gives me an idea of, the situation of this point of the day. I can also go to a later point of the day. You can see how the lighting changes just from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. But more importantly, I also wanted to, like I said, take a look at these solar shades that are on here. So I can just select these for my features. Go in, if you change it to edges, it's a little bit easier for you to select different geometry. And I can simply just hide those. I don't actually have to delete those. With those hidden, I can go back in and I can rerun my analysis to get an idea, did that make a significant change? You can see here just visually how big a change it actually makes. Now the one thing that's tough is it's hard to see where all that white is, all my numbers. Like I said earlier, I can do renderings, so we can just use our render tool, does an overlay. We can see our numbers, and in this case I actually just saved those both out to a PowerPoint, and then that allows me to compare. You can visually see the difference, but you also can compare those numbers. With this complete, I can save that and continue on with my modeling design. Thank you for your time.